Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to another episode of ELEV8. I am your host, Justin Caraway, and I have my co-host that needs no introduction, one of the best in it, one of the best to ever do it. Mr. CJ Boyd is in the building.
Hey, 1,000 on my neck, 1,000 on my shit, 1,000 on no, hell no, come on, let me start, bro.
My bro got that boy said he gonna shine on y'all today. Y'all gonna see him one way or the other.
Yes,
you
sir.
Nice
Yes,
too?
sir.
What's going on?
Hey,
What's
I got
really
to
happening?
come on. Hey, boy, hey. Oh, damn.
It those that don't know today's episode, we do have a special guest that's joining us that I'm pretty sure would not appreciate Mr. CJ rolling the two dice. But I think this young man is very inspirational. This is someone that CJ and I both had the pleasure of meeting at our Juneteenth event with the city of Garland that, you know, really just stood out to the both of us. And I was so happy and so eager to hear CJ pursuing this young man to get him to join us to talk about what we're going to talk about today, which to me is super important. And I feel like this conversation is going to be very healthy and pertains a lot of information as well as a lot of insight that a lot of us are not previewed to. So with no further ado, I'm going to let CJ go ahead and make the intro for our guest today.
Oh, shit. All right, bet. So, hey, this is a cool dude, police officer straight out of Garland. What his height? You know what? I'm going to let him say it. This is my man, Officer Whitney. You know what I'm saying? But today, he just a regular nigga on the block. Shit. You know what I'm saying?
We ain't gonna go with that, Officer Whitley. We apologize.
Hey, everybody on the BS3 network, if y'all niggas got speeding tickets or y'all niggas got warrant, I'm snitching on y'all today. I think Ben got some warrants. I think that nigga King Doc got warrants. You're getting arrested today. No, I'm playing. Hey, hold on right quick. Hey, my man, Officer Whitney. Now, do we get... Huh?
It's Whitley.
Oh, okay. My bad. Don't arrest me. No, I'm playing. Hey, wait a minute. Hold on. Hey, so speaking of that, do them jokes be getting annoying? Like when you just be, you just be somewhere chilling and then somebody be like, hey, hope you don't got any warrants. My man gonna arrest you. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, this shit be getting lame. You be in that house like, bro, shut your dumb ass, stupid ass. Like, you know what I'm saying?
I get it so much, man. Whether it be a family cookout or something, somebody start drinking. Anytime somebody do anything, like I'm the first person they mention. It's funny. It's funny. But yeah, it don't ever bother me, man.
Bro, hold on right quick. Hey, so do we gotta call you Officer Whitley this whole thing, or we can?
My first name Dalen, man. You can just call me by my first name.
Nigga, we gonna call you D. Shit, we gonna call you D.
Yeah, man. Yeah.
Bet that.
So for those that don't know, D is actually from my hometown of Garland, Texas. D, can you give us a little background as far as like where did you grow up in Garland? As we say in Garland, who are your people?
Yeah. Definitely. So you and me were talking. I'm kind of from the east side, man. For those people that know where Garland is in the city and stuff, people are familiar with Dairy Road 66. Big church out there called Mount Hebron in that area. I went to preschool there. You know, my family, they lived in the neighborhood. I ended up moving to Mesquite. And that's where I went to like elementary, high school, and so on and so forth, man. So I kind of split as far as growing up and living. I kind of split my time between there. But yeah, that's where I'm from. I'm definitely from the area. I know it inside and out. And I love the city. It's a great place to live.
Absolutely, man. And that's the thing. I think that I want CJ definitely to get a more of a better picture of this, as far as if you're from Garland and you're from the east side, it's a sense of pride that comes with that. It's a sense of belonging that's with that as well. Like we've always, I don't know about you, but I can speak for myself. Me and some of my friends growing up, we always had that I don't want to say chip on our shoulders, but that sense of pride of I'm from East Garland and we just whooped your ass. Whether it's football, basketball, it was that thing because we played a lot of kids from Dallas that felt like, oh, y'all Garland kids, y'all ain't got nothing for us. You know what I'm saying? And when you get out there and you show what you're capable of, that respect comes all of a sudden. That, hey, we got that boy from Garland. He nice. I like him. You know what I'm saying? So for me, that's what it was. But I mean, I know you're, what are you, like 24, 25, right?
24, man. Yeah.
Wow, young man, young buck is what I'm gonna call you.
Yeah.
So for those that don't know, like how long have you been on the force now?
It's a little over 2 years now, man. A little over 2 years now. It wasn't getting in the police, like it definitely wasn't the plan at all. And we'll probably get into it a little bit more, but man, I growing up, like I hated police. So it definitely wasn't a plan until I probably got to college, man, and I really started looking at what am I gonna do when I graduate here. And I was looking into it. My perspective on a lot of things changed, grew up, seeing things a little differently. And I saw it as an opportunity to really help my community, man, and really get involved and make a difference someplace.
Yeah, and I love that you say that, man. Just being able to think outside the box and having that change of perspective because you probably, where were you in school at?
I went, so as far as you talking about college or high school? Yeah, college, man, State, man, in West Texas, middle of nowhere. It's nothing like the city. It's a big country town. So
right.
Yeah,
and that's the thing. You got exposed to different walks of life. You got exposed to different people that had different interactions with police officers. So your perspective of law enforcement probably shifted and changed within those couple of years being out in West Texas. So, I mean, for that, I totally commend you. And first and foremost, thank you for your service. And it doesn't go unrecognized or unnoticed. I definitely appreciate what you do. But like I know, just like CJ know, law enforcement, especially in today's society, especially within the Black community, you get a bad rep, period. And I know the $50 million question that probably a lot of our viewers and a lot of people that listen and hear this podcast later, they're going to want to know about the blue wall of silence. They're going to want to know, how does that work with you wanting to make a difference in your community? What do you feel your difference could be? What do you feel like your change could be for us as African Americans in the community with the relationship with policing?
Yeah, man. Well, to answer that, man, it's really, for me, it's more of an education standpoint, man. Educating our community, really trying to get them to understand what exactly law enforcement is supposed to be, it's supposed to look like, how things work. Because I think a lot of the problems with our community is we don't understand. We just don't understand why police do some of the things that they do. And we don't know what's right and what's wrong. A lot of times we just look at something and we automatically say, oh, that's wrong. When in reality, they're doing their job and they're doing exactly what they should be doing. And a lot of the times they're doing something that people think is right. And it's like, no, that's wrong. So for me, the biggest thing that I try to do, going from call to call, or when I'm able to just really just be around the community, things like the Juneteenth event, showing up, showing my face, talking to people, connecting with people. It gives people an opportunity to ask me questions. It gives people an opportunity to learn. That's one thing that I feel like we need to do. We need to learn. We really need to educate those. It's not enough that policing, definitely there are some things that need to be changed. There are some things that need to be done, specifically with our community. And then on our end, we definitely have to change the stigma of hating police. The big statement a lot of times people chanting is F the police. And
Right.
I kind of changed that and be like, no, we need to be the police, because we're constantly, we're constantly asking for change. We're constantly saying we want this done. Well, we're asking people to do those things that don't look like us. So their motivation to change it, their drive to change it isn't the same kind of motivation that we have. We really want to change this because no, this is really affecting us. Like, because you take the uniform away from me, and what? I'm still a black man. I can't take this skin off. I can't, so if I'm driving down the street in Waco or Houston or wherever, they ain't gonna know I'm a cop unless I say something. And so they're gonna treat me just like anybody else. And so, yeah, I definitely think that there's some things that need to change on both sides. And it's just for us, we have to change our culture and the way we look at police in a different light, and not in a lot of it is negative. I'm not gonna lie, a lot of it is negative. I think we kind of touched on it a little bit, where individuals will automatically look at me and assume like I've heard the word Uncle Tom so much, like it's it's ridiculous. And I'm like, man, if you really got to know me, you would, just having a conversation with me, you would completely change your mind, man. I'm nothing like that at all. But the moment they see me in that uniform and that badge, they automatically have an idea of who I am and like the type of person that I am and what I stand for. So I think that's an issue. If we can learn to change those types of things, man, we can start on a path to really making change, because we can get out in those streets 24/7, protest, do all of that. But if nobody is really getting in there and really changing how we think, the atmosphere, everything, then we're just going to be protesting every year.
Right. And it's funny that you say that as far as the badge and the uniform, because our conversation earlier, me and CJ, we were discussing that. And that was one of the main points that I brought up. Like, yes, we see you now and we recognize you now as an African-American man. But when you put that badge and that uniform on, that's the first thing people see. It becomes that you're with them, you're against us, or you're automatically assuming that I'm doing something wrong. So therefore you get the attitude of, F the police, or we can't rock with you because you with them. And I understand that. And one thing that you said to me that really stood out, that was very powerful, and to me, is be the change that you want to see, So if we're, like you said, the marching, the protesting, to me, that's dead. I'm not doing that. I feel like our ancestors did that before us, and we saw where it got them. Thank God for them, because it got us to the point where our voices can really and truly be heard. But we're going to need more people like yourself that says, hey, I get it. This is a systematic thing. This is not just now I got one black cop, now I'm good. Like, no, this is a systemic, systematically placed organization that really was designed for us, not in mind. So in order to make the change, you're right, we're going to have more black cops in, and we're going to have more black cops that don't have that blue wall of silence up, that is willing to do podcasts or come on and come speak to the community. Because one thing about it, man, I'm part of a nonprofit out in Garland, Men and Women of Perception, and we target at-risk kids, young adults, just to give them leg up, give them encouragement, teach them and educate them on different things. And for me personally, because this hit home, the Garland had a rep at one time that it was getting a little bit out of control. And I remember doing a speaking engagement to basically promote peace in the city, stop the violence, because it's really nonsense when you think about it. Like, what are these kids or young adults fighting over? What are we arguing about? Like, take your grandma's house. You don't own that block. When she dies, guess what? You probably can't pay the property taxes. So your black ass is out of there anyway. So let's get to a better understanding to figure out how can we come together as a community in order for our voices to truly be heard. Because I invited police officers out before. Did they show up? No. But just knowing that they can see my face and know that, okay, this man is actually trying to do something positive, or this organization is actually trying to do something positive, to me, that speaks volumes. And my advice to police officers would be, if you're policing those neighborhoods that you feel are dangerous or they don't like you being there, get out that car. Go shoot basketball with those kids. Go throw the football with those kids. Give them those little stickers. All of y'all have the stickers. We know that. Give them the stickers. You know what I'm saying? Let them know that you don't have to run from me when you see me coming. It's okay to approach me and say, how are you today? Don't tense up when you driving in the car. Drive normal. It's cool. You know what I'm saying? But it's that type of involvement with the community that the police no longer have, nor does the community have. I'm not going to blame it all on policing. The community has to have that person that can be the bridge between the officers and the community as well. Because a lot of times, and I mean, I know you can attest to this, you get people that are policing areas that they're not familiar with, or they're not accustomed to the culture. And I gave the example to CJ earlier about I live out in Roy City now. So if CJ were to come out here and let's say we in the front yard, we drinking, we barbecuing, and me and CJ decide we want a slap box. Well, my neighbors may call the cops, and then next thing you know it, me and CJ being held up at gunpoint because they think we got a dispute going on. Not knowing the culture that, hey, we just playing, we just having a good time. So my question to you is, and I know I've been going for a minute, so I'm going to shut up and let CJ have the floor. But my question to you is, how do you encourage officers that are not familiar with certain areas? How do you get them familiar with those areas? What does that look like?
Man, it's honestly, it's simple. And you kind of touched on it. Just get out your car and talk to people. That's really all you got to do. I mean, the people in my area, I've been around in my area, like out the car talking to people, or it might just be a track. Man, I've pulled over some of the exact same people. Like, and I'm just like, oh, dude, it's you. You can keep it moving. Like, I don't even go no further with it. I don't need to get his name. I already know who this guy is. There's a QT. So my area, for the most part, is Broadway and I-30. I walk into the QT gas station, and 9 times out of 10, I'm gonna see somebody that I've met, and they see me. Hey, what's up, man? What's going on, Officer Willie? How you doing? And I mean, moms that I've dealt with, their kids, kept them from running away, all of that, just telling me how their kid doing and all of that. And that to me is the best way to do it, man. Just get out your car and talk to people. You know, I'm driving through parking lots, I'm got my window rolled down so they can see me. If I see you walking, hey, how you doing? This, that, and the next. The next time you might see me somewhere else and be like, hey, there go Officer Willie, there go. That they know me. And even if they don't know my name, they know my face. So when they see, and I see so many people, I might not remember you, but you're going to remember me. And then once you explain to me like, oh man, you remember you talked to me this, that, and the next, I'm like, oh, okay, man, how you doing? And we just catch up. So that to me is the best way to do it. We have areas where it's predominantly Hispanic, where you just have a large group of Hispanics. They live in this certain apartment complex, and right across the street in that whole neighborhood is just all Hispanics. If an officer, granted, he's probably gonna have to speak Spanish, really wants to get in that community, just drive through the apartment complex. They are, anytime I go and respond to calls in those apartment complexes, they outside, they cooking, they in the foyer area, hanging out, kids, all of that. Just go out and hand out some stickers. I think you kind of explained it, man. You took the words right out of my mouth. I mean, it's not hard, man. It's really simple. You just get out, because in that patrol car with that uniform on, people are gonna break their neck to see you. They're gonna break their neck to see what you're doing, because 9 times out of 10, they either being nosy or they worried about, ooh, am I gonna get a ticket, or is he gonna stop me, or is he gonna do this? So you already stick out like a sore thumb. Once you just acting like a regular person, you sitting down and eating. You know, I get people staring at me all the time. Kids, they think I'm a robot. They don't even think I eat. And it's like I'm a normal person just like you. So I really think that all you have to do is just get out and be involved with community, go into those types of events like the Juneteenth thing. We have stuff all the time with school, like with schools and things like that. So if you really focus on doing it, if that's what you really want to do, some people's heart isn't in it. And I think that's a lot of times that's the issue, and that's where we see the disconnect. Some people just don't want to do that. Some people want to sit, or all people want to do is, stop the criminal, and doing police work. That's what we're there for. Don't get me wrong, but we also there to serve the community per se. And so serving, it comes in many different forms, man. There's many different aspects of that. And I think that's just one of them, just being involved and talking and laughing and joking with people, letting the kids see you. And again, they not thinking you a robot. You a normal person. You can talk about sports. You can talk about these things. Once they see that, they become more comfortable around you. And then when he with his homeboys, if you talk to him in an apartment complex and then you see him and he with his homeboys, whereas they might have ran from you a month ago, the moment you pull up, one of them gonna be like, no, that's absolutely, he cool. I'll come over with y'all, I talk to y'all. These are the things that I do. And so I don't get that kind of response, and it hurts me. I was talking to CJ one time and I told him, I felt bad. It was a situation where people was popping fireworks, and they kept popping them. People calling 911. So I pull up, and this is an apartment complex that I'm always at, and it's these young black kids. They weren't even They weren't even the ones popping them. But I roll up, and immediately they see me. They start running. And then I hear one of them say, "Oh, I don't talk to the police." And I'm talking about these kids are like 10, and I'm like, man. If you only knew, man, if you only knew, I'm really here to help you. I'm here because you running from me, and it might be something going on. Your mama might have called the police because something going on, and you running from me. And that he's 10 years old. He hasn't really experienced life. He hasn't probably experienced the police like that, but that's just been instilled in him. And for what he knows, what he sees on TV. And granted, you look at the stuff on TV, I'd be scared too. Granted, is it all bad? Is some of the stuff that I see, I'm like, that's not really wrong. Granted, but most people don't know that. And you looking at a 10-year-old, he probably listening to his parents. His parents have probably experienced some things just like I have. Before I became a cop, I'm telling you, I hated police with a passion. And so just based off of some of the things I've experienced, I've had guns pulled out on me, all of that for no reason other than wearing my pants too low. If we being honest, I had a cop pull a gun out on me at a party because I had my pants. It was a party. It was like like a block party or something. Nothing was going on. Nothing crazy. I was walking, pants sagging. It is what it is. I was young back then. Pulled a gun out on me because he thought I had a weapon. Didn't say anything to me. Just pulled a gun out on me. So I hated police. And so, I think in order for the community to really get involved, it has to happen on both sides, specifically with the Black community. We gotta really want to do those things with police, and not shy away from that. But at the same time, police have to really put their foot down and say, hey, let's get in these streets. Let's talk to these people. Let's go in the apartment complexes. Let's, walk around, talk to these people. Don't just stay in your squad car for hours and hours on end. Because 9 times out of 10, when people call us, they calling us on their worst days. We're not meeting people, they're not calling us just to hang out or saying, hey man, come get these cookies. I got some food for you. Come stop by. No, we meeting them on their worst days. And that's the only time people see us. What if they seen us just rolling through and just wanting to talk or play, like you said, play basketball, play soccer, do something? That would change our communities, not just in Garland, but everywhere drastically.
Right. Absolutely. Because I look at it from the perspective of I'm not going to say all of them, but a lot of cops that I've ran into that I know were those kids that were in high school that may have been bullied, may have not been the popular kid, didn't have friends, or didn't even really know how to interact with people that were introverts. And you give them a gun and a badge and you're sending them to an area that's predominantly Black or predominantly Hispanic, and you get a Caucasian police officer that doesn't understand the culture, that automatically his antennas are up because he's already knowing that they don't like police over here. So therefore, I feel like I got to protect myself. Because what's the first thing we always hear when you hear an unarmed black man shot is, I feared for my life. I was scared for my life. And for me, it's like, yo, you signed up for this job and you know it's a dangerous job before you even took it. So being afraid for your life, that sort of comes with the territory, right? So when I look at it, like, could you imagine a pilot really saying, oh yeah, I ran into that mountain because I had a bad day, or I was afraid for my life because there was so much commotion behind me that I lost focus. Like, you as an officer, in my opinion, and this is just my opinion, you can't afford to make those type of mistakes. You can't afford to have a pilot that's, and American Airline comes out and says, oh, that was just one bad pilot. You can't have a fireman that doesn't know how to hold the hose properly and come out and say, oh, that was one bad fireman. Like, it looks bad for everybody, you know? And one thing I always tell myself, because I work in corporate America, is don't take things personally. Because they're not seeing you as an individual, they're seeing you as that company at that time. So when we hear of, you know, a Trayvon Martin or a Sandra Bland or, you know, George Floyd, we hear those situations. You got to understand that, you know, the community, we're looking at you guys as, yo, y'all did that to him, or y'all did that to these individuals. But then you hit us with the excuse of, oh, those were just rogue cops, or, oh, that was just one bad cop. Or even in the Sandra Bland situation, I didn't hear anything that came out of those cops. Or, you know, you hearing them being suspended with pay. Well, that means you get to not work and we still paying you because I'm a tax-paying citizen. I'm paying your salary. Like, you have to understand how that looks in the community and also understand inherent trauma. Like you said, you had a 10-year-old running away from you saying, oh, I don't talk to police. Well, you're absolutely right. It starts at home. So you do have some parents that teach their kids, yo, when you see them, get the hell away. Or you have some parents like myself that I'm going to teach my kids, hey, when you see them, make sure they recognize you, make sure they see you. And, you know, if it's a situation going on, get out the way. I'm not saying run, but I am advising you to get the hell away from that. Don't be nosy. Don't be that person sitting around like, oh, what they here for? And then bang, you shot. You know what I'm saying? So it's difficult. It really is. And once again, kudos to you for doing what you do. And I'm hoping that I can assist you however I can in order to make a difference in our communities, man, because it's needed.
Yeah, for sure, man. For sure.
CJ, it's on you, baby.
I'm about to say, God damn, nigga, it's been 30 minutes. I ain't said nothing. I was just chilling up here, man. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Do you know TJ and Liz?
I do. They're my cousins.
There go your best friend, CJ. That's Keisha in the building.
Man, hey, so right quick. First off, so some of the people that was commenting, they got warrants, I'm pretty sure. Keisha never paid that speeding ticket for like 3 years, so she need to go ahead and get arrested. Ben just came back from Vegas, so I'm pretty sure he did something illegal. So you know what I'm saying? Go ahead and check him out. He probably got warrants. I'm playing with you, dog. So I was gonna ask you kind of like about you. You know, what inspired you to become a cop?
Yeah, man. So it was really just about really wanting to make a difference. You know, people say that and they probably don't know how to. I mean, I know when I first said that, I was like, how do I make a difference? that was my first question to myself. And like I said, I grew up, I hated police. I actually, when those 5 Dallas officers that got killed, during the protest years. I think that was back in like 2016.
Yup.
I was there, like front row. I was there protesting. And I think that's what really kind of sparked the change in me, because seeing those guys get killed like that, for one, and I didn't see like the actual like shots and the guys dying and stuff like that, but when the shots rang out, of course we were running everywhere and all of that, and we ended up, they were still trying to find the guy, so we ended up like in this one block, they had everybody just locked in, I want to say for about 8 hours, man, trying to find this guy. And just watching these dudes, man, that's when I realized, like, you know, these guys are people, and not all of them are bad, man. I mean, they were genuinely not only trying to help us, the people that are spitting at them, cussing them out, like, I mean, it was bad, man. And I wasn't doing that per se, but I was in the protest. So, I mean, you could say I was lumped in with everybody else. And I'm watching, you know, how we're still like going at these guys, and, you know, their friends and people that they look at as brothers and sisters just died right in front of them. And I'm looking at them and I'm like, man, you know, these guys are just like me. And so that kind of changed my perspective on them just a little bit. And then, like I said, once I got to college, started reading more, maturing a little bit more, having more interactions with police. And it just kind of changed my perspective of like, man, these guys, they're doing a job just like everybody else.
Right.
Policing is a very hard job, one of the hardest professions, just because so much of what you do is based off of the other person. And much like what you said, you make the wrong decision and it's over. And sometimes you got to make those decisions in a split second, and you have to make the right decision in a split second. If you don't make that right decision, somebody's life might end. So I started realizing that and really started being opening up to the fact that, man, you know, the Black community needs Black officers. You know, I didn't see people that looked like me in uniform. I really didn't. Whether it be the tattoos or just a Black guy, period. I didn't see somebody like me, you know, working at the police department. And so I decided, you know, I graduated, I was working at Enterprise, and, you know, I was just like, you know what, I'm gonna do it. And I ended up applying, and I got the job, and it's been like that ever since. But my main drive, man, is really just making a difference, whether it be stopping the crime, making a difference, whether it be just teaching kids like me that look like me, and about the things that we do. Hopefully one day that person is gonna look and say, hey, I want to do this job, man. I really want to make this world, make this city a better place. And I truly feel, and that's why I wake up every day. I'm happy to go to work, because I truly feel like, hey, somewhere, somehow in this city, I'm doing something. I'm making somebody's day, or helping somebody out, at least once tonight. So that's pretty much why I decided to do this, man.
Right.
Real nigga. Now I'm gonna ask you this question. Now, this is just
hold on, CJ. I'm sorry. Before you ask that question, I can't let my brother go to think that there's never been Black people in uniform that was making the difference for the community and trying to help the community. You're familiar with the Black Panther Party, correct? Right. Okay. So with that being said, those were really, truly the first Black police officers, in my opinion. They were there to police their community as well as police the police, because you had so many unarmed or, you know, overexcited police officers that felt the need to go to the extreme when it came to stopping or harassing Black people, that our community came together and created that. But it's a reason that you don't see that anymore. And that was done purposely by, and I really like you, man, because I don't want, once again, this is never gonna be a bashing section.
Yeah, for sure.
But it's the people that you work for now that stop organizations like that went into those communities and said, no. You niggas can't have guns. You can't police the areas that we are working.
Mm-hmm.
And not only that, but they were feeding kids, man. They were giving kids free breakfast. They had support of white people coming into those communities. I'm talking about doctors that were giving kids shots, that were helping make sure our community started to thrive and get it. And you know, that's just my 2 cents on it. I mean, once again, it's no disrespect at all. I hear what you're saying, and I appreciate it, because it really does make a difference, and it does mean a lot for you to be a black man and say, yo, they need to be able to see this. And I agree with you, but I just didn't want you to keep having, I just didn't want you to not recognize, like, yo, the Black Panther Party, that's what they were there for.
Oh, for sure. And I agree with you. For sure, man. The modern aspect now, and the Black Panthers, don't get me wrong, I know exactly what you're talking about. I've read the books, watched documentaries, all of that on them, and I mean, I respect everything that they did. I think they went wrong when they tried to go at the police. Granted,
we all just got that Amber Alert. Hey, my boy finna suit up. Hey, bro, my nigga finna suit up, bro. He finna in Coffee, Texas.
My bad. My back on
his jurisdiction. He ain't going nowhere.
Boy, you ain't gonna respond to that?
Yeah, you good.
Yeah, you good.
It was that Amber Alert that knocked you
out.
out.
Right. It was the Amber Alert.
Yeah.
yeah. Boy, you better get the Boy, you better go to Coffee, Texas. Shit. Goddamn. Go ahead, bro. You got it.
But I think where they went wrong was, and it wasn't all of them, but just like any organization, you have individuals that take things into their own hands. And LA, don't get me wrong, was where a lot of that stuff was going on. I mean, you look at Rodney King, things like that. There was a need back then for something like the Black Panther Party, because I mean, nobody was protecting us. And I mean, you getting guys getting beat in the middle of the street. And thank God they had that video. If nobody would have ever recorded that, that would have been something we would never know today. So I get that. But I guess now where we're at, I mean, it's been so long since we've seen something like that. And I think the issue with them was they were taking the law into their own hands. And you can't beat the police system. If they would have went another route, they probably would still be here today. But I mean, even now, they're labeled as a terrorist organization now. And so you can't even, that's what I'm saying, specifically for me growing up, I never even looked at them. Did I think they were cool? Yes, I knew about them. I thought they were cool. Like, I seen the movies, the documentaries growing up. I read books, all of that stuff about them. But those wasn't the people that I was like, oh man, I want to be like that, simply because they're no longer around, you know? Now I wish that was different, but, and I know there's still some form of them around, but they're not as prominent as they were back then. And yeah, but I completely and totally agree with what you're saying. They were protecting and helping the community back then, when we needed it. And we still need it now. We still need some form of that now. So I definitely agree with you on that.
Yeah. Don't forget, Bobby Seale is, I believe, in Waco, Texas, at University of Baylor. So
okay.
That even now with the new Black Panther Party, the new chapter here in Dallas, I mean, you have representation. They really do things, but like you said, they're labeled as a terrorist group. But you have groups like the Proud Boys, the QNs or whatever.
QAnon, yeah.
I don't see them as terrorist groups, but they stormed that Capitol. That was a terrorist act committed really in our own backyard, and we all saw the outcome of that. We're seeing it play out now too, even with the trial going on. I'm not really hanging my hat on the person that's responsible for this is going to 20 jail time. I'm not hanging my hat on that.
I wouldn't if I was you neither. I wouldn't if I was you neither, man. So
yeah, I cut you off, CJ. You got it.
Nah, I don't. Shit.
Yeah, you do.
Hey, no, it's all cool. but now, so I wanted to ask this question because this was like a serious conversation, and I wanted to know, you being, like a Black officer, and I just wanted to know, when you was pulling over, or have you, like, have you ever stopped, or, well, I'm pretty sure you have, but whenever you pulled over, a female, have they ever tried to throw some ass at you to get out like this type of situation, bro? I'm just asking, like, you know what I'm saying, like, they seeing you, they like, damn, I ain't trying to go to jail. Like, what's up? Like, what can we do to get out of this predicament? You know what I'm saying? But yeah, that's what that's kind of what I want to know. Has anybody tried to, you know what I'm saying?
Man, it's funny. It's actually surprisingly a very good question. A lot of people don't know that, man. This badge, it can definitely get you.
Yeah, yes, sir.
It can definitely get you a lot of things. I've told. I remember.
Straight Riz. I already know. Funny.
You definitely have to be a guy that's in control of yourself, because I mean, at least once a night, man, whether I'm walking in a gas station or something, man, somebody's like trying to talk to me. I've literally been on calls where like some chick got beat up by her boyfriend or something like that, and then like I'm doing the report and I'm getting her info, and like she's trying to talk to me, and I'm like, whoa.
Yeah, like, because she just got through finished getting her ass whooped. But you know what I'm saying? She's like, shit, I'm trying to switch. On the opposite side.
Yeah, man. I think being married helps a lot, man. So I just show them the ring. But even then, man, that doesn't even help. Like, I've literally had women come to me. I'm pulling her over. I smell some weed, and I'm like, hey, like, I'm not gonna give you a ticket, but you need to get rid of that. And I literally had a chick tell me, like, are you married? And I was like, yes, ma'am. And she was like, are you happily married? And I was like, ma'am, I'm gonna keep it professional, but you need to send you on your way. So like it's stuff like that, man, that I always get it. I always get it. For the guys that can't control themselves, they know who they are. They end up getting in trouble, man, because it's there if you want it. Let's just put it like that. If you want that, man, we call some women that only go for that. We call them badge bunnies. Cause
that's what I was about to. That's what I was about to.
Yeah, man, it's a lot of them out there. So yeah.
No, you know what? And I was kind of being funny about it. I was kind of being like, I was being goofy about it. Of course, I kind of got to break it. I got to, have that comic, what you call it? That comic relief, the comedic relief.
Comedic relief.
Yeah. But like, no, like that's like real talk. And I know some officers, man, like, especially, well, it's a lot of married ones too. We can talk offline about that. You know what I'm saying? But like, man, they will still lose their job because they, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like they just get a little too wicked with it, man. And just like you said, like that's a real thing. Like you said that you have people that you personally know that'll. I mean, I don't know what's the situation is. I don't know how severe it is, but I mean, it's a situation where like some people could possibly like lose their jobs, or they, all over some like, you know what I'm saying? So
yeah. Hey, that's why I keep my policy works every time. I just stay out their business. Don't tell me. I don't know. I don't want to know. Like, right. I'm good. Man. But man, I think that's with any job, man. You go on, you go in the office, man. They say a call center is one of the worst places to be, man. You in a room full of predominantly nothing but women, man. So, like, I think that's with every job. It's just with ours specifically. We always dealing with people. We dealing with them face to face. We getting phone numbers for police purposes, but we getting these things and stuff and. Women sometimes they look at us as superheroes and stuff like that. So I mean, it just comes with it. And like I said, you really gotta be professional, man. You definitely don't want to do something like that. And she come up to the station pregnant, asking where officer such and such at.
Taser.
Stop, Justin. Tweaking. Hey, hold on. You know what, man? Hey, see, this is why we need maybe a part 2 because I got some. I just want to be goofy, but maybe we could do that on the next one. But so one of the things I was going to ask you, and I was talking to Justin about this, kind of, staying back on track, was when it comes to the background and screening of police officers. And that's something that we was talking about because we we keep getting these situations where to us, I'm like, how did you even make it through the academy? Or you have a lot of old heads, they was in the academy in the 90s or early 2000s. They need to do some retraining, which I'm pretty sure y'all do, I mean, and just a little bit on my background. I'm a military guy, and we was talking. I'm a military. I was active duty for a little bit. Then I switched into the reserves. I ain't no badass. I ain't go on no fucking tours. I ain't go to Iraq and Iran and shit. I ain't do none of that shit. I wasn't out there with two AKs. You know what I'm saying? I wasn't no badass dude, Now I was in a situation to where I did have to, unfortunately, use my weapon, and you know what I'm saying. But that's a whole story for a different day. But anyway, the point is, I'm kind of very familiar with the policing world. My stepfather has been a police officer with DART for like 15 or 16 years, so I've always kind of had, and he was prior military too, so some of the terms and like badge bunnies, I understand. I actually think that's why he got caught up with him and my mom. They ain't work out. That's a whole different conversation. I really think some shit went down, but you know what I'm saying? But anyway, kind of just to tone it back, so I'm very familiar with one of the slangs and situations. And one of the things I wanted to ask about is just like the background screenings and to become an officer. What was it? Hey, 42 Alpha, baby. Hey, 42 Alpha. I'm responding to Brian Williams. 42 Alpha. I'm a human resource specialist, so I ain't no 11 Bravo. That's infantry. I ain't no, Now I do have a secondary MOS, which is military intelligence. I believe that's 31 Bravo. So I'm a goofy dude, but I'll be on some real shit. Like I'll be on some real shit, But anyway, I was gonna say with the background, and to become an officer, I actually wanted for you to touch on kind of two different points. First, maybe talk about how the like right when you apply, what are the steps after you apply, and how do they screen these people? Because we were talking about, and I was telling with Justin, and I was telling Justin what you was telling me. So I just want you kind of to air it out to the community. How are they screening these officers to get in? And kind of talk about a little bit about the screening and the background checks. Talk a little bit about the we were talking about, and I'm trying to remember, like the complaints and how, like what counts. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, like what counts as a complaint? Because we have, you see these officers, and you like, damn, like what I'm saying. You like, damn, like he had all these complaints. Why didn't nobody say anything? And then kind of talk about a little bit what can be possibly improved. Screening people is hard unless you just say some off the wall shit. Then of course, but but kind of talk about what happens after you put your application in the academy and just a little bit about the screening process. And then you can feel free to talk about your experience in the academy and how did that go for you and some of the people you were seeing that was around you.
Yeah, for sure, man. So I'll start with the first thing, just the whole screening process, man. Well, it starts when you put your application in. And for those that have ever applied, they know. And it varies from department, but specifically for Garland, man, it is a lengthy process. It might take up to 6 months, all the way up to a year, depending on when you decide to apply.
Damn.
Yeah. It's not a, if you're just looking at, hurry up and get in, It's not the process that'll do it. So yeah, you apply, and then they give you what is called a personal history statement. It's a packet, and that packet goes from pretty much from the day you were born, every single crime you've committed, knowingly and unknowingly, as far as law enforcement. So they'll ask you like, have you ever did this? Have you ever did that? And that takes about, I want to say maybe a day and a half. Now, if you really push it, it'll just take you all day to finish it. It's pretty lengthy.
How long you did yours, if you remember?
It probably took me a day. At that time, man, I was just living with my now wife and working at Enterprise. So when I got off, I just said, I'm finna do this the entire day, and I filled it all out. But I mean, you're talking about getting people's numbers, references, neighbors that know you. Like it's super lengthy. And so you do that. Then you take a test. I'm sorry, you take the test first. So you take the test to become a police officer, and it's just like an entrance exam to see if you. It's kind of like the ASVAB. That's how I would equate it. It's kind of like the ASVAB, and then you take a fitness test, and then you take you do the personal history statement. And so once that looks good, you turn it in. You have a background investigator that looks through your personal history statement, and they scrub you clean. They call neighbors. They're calling family. They're calling everybody. And it's important to be honest about this stuff, because you can try to hide it, but when it comes to the polygraph and then they ask you these questions, it's going to come out sooner or later. So if you did, let's say if you was trafficking coke or something when you was 10 or whatever, like let's say you was trafficking coke 10 years ago and you try to be a cop, you can say, no, I've never sold drugs before. You can do all of that. But when it comes time to take that polygraph and they ask you that same question and your heart beat races up because you can't control that, you know? And that's how they measure whether or not somebody's lying. And so when they ask you that and your heart like starts racing, they're gonna be like, well, why is your heart racing for that if you've never done it? So that's what kind of gets people if they decide to lie. But long story short, I mean, they scrub their background investigator. He's looking at Facebook, he's looking at all your social media accounts, all of that. And so that is pretty thorough. I don't think you can get much more thorough than that. And then if you pass that, you pass the polygraph, then the very last, they give you a conditional offer of employment. And then you take a psych eval. Let me backtrack though. Before you do that, you do have an interview, and that interview is with people at the Garland Police Department, officers, training department, and members, city council members. They ask you scenario questions. They ask you about yourself. They ask you some of the stuff that you put in the personal history statement. And if all goes well, then they give you the conditional offer of employment. And then you take your psychological evaluation. It's easy. They just want to see if you're normal. As long as you don't put something down on there saying like, I like to just shoot guns and kill people for fun or something just outlandish. You're gonna pass your polygraph. It is not to measure whether or not you have some kind of underlining issue, like your morality. Yeah. It's not that. It's not designed to question any of that. It is specifically designed to just see, is this person normal? 100 people they would do this in this scenario, and does that person do the same thing? And that's basically what it's measuring. So most people pass that. If you don't, then your process pretty much stops right there. But after that, you go through the academy, and then you go through, once you graduate the academy was about 28 weeks or something like that. It's pretty long. I could be wrong on that number, but it's pretty long. About 6 months. It's 6 months approximately. So you do that, and then you have an FTO. You're a cop now. They give you a badge and everything. You're officially a cop, but you're still in training, and so they pair you with a field training officer for about the same. I don't want to say 6 months, but it's a couple of months. And then once you get done with that, then you're out on your own. And so that's how the process is. Even the FTO thing, they're vetting you, man. You're graded every day. You're sitting in the car with somebody that is literally grading you every day, from the way you talk to people to how you handle your business on a call, or what you do, where you're going on the call, like how you get there, all these things. They grade you on every single thing. So I think with Garland's process, I don't think you can get any more intricate than that, because I mean, they vet you from the time you put that application in and all the way until it's time for you to be out there on your own. Do people still slip through the cracks? Yes. And we have something called post FTO. And that's basically meaning, yes, you're out on your own, but you're still on probation. So if you do something bad enough, we can fire you on the spot immediately. And there have been people that have slipped through the cracks and they do something out on their own, and then they get fired. So yeah, that's the process as far as that. And I think you wanted to know about the complaints, right?
Yeah. So talk to everybody about the complaints. About complaints.
So let's use Derrick Chauvin, for example. All right, this is a guy everybody knows him. Knows he's the guy that essentially killed George Floyd horrendously. And so we look at him, and then it comes out on the news. This guy had several complaints, and people are like, why hasn't anybody done anything about this guy? Why hasn't anybody said anything? The thing with complaints, and again, I can only tell you Garland's perspective. I can't tell you what other departments do. But thing about complaints is anybody can complain. Tomorrow I could go out on a call and a guy, beat his wife or something like that. And, we try to take him to jail and he jerks away. Now we got to put him on the ground because he's refusing to go to jail. His wife can then call and complain on me saying, I don't like the way, I think that officer handled my husband really rough. I don't like the way he did that. Granted, he was resisting arrest, right? And I was completely in the right in everything I did. She can call and complain, and that would be considered a complaint. IA is going to investigate it if it's legitimate. Now, if it's just somebody calling and saying, F that officer, I don't care about him, they're not even going to waste their time with that. But if it sounds like something could be legitimate, they're going to go back. Internal Affairs is going to look at the video footage. They're going to assess it. They're going to talk amongst each other. They're going to do a full investigation on it. And if it's found that, hey, this officer did something wrong, then they're going to address it, whether there be a reprimand, a written reprimand, a verbal reprimand, or retraining. And that's how that process goes. Now, it could go the other way, and they look at it like in this particular situation. If I take him to the ground because he's resisting arrest, I have every right to do that. They can look at that and say, oh, he didn't do anything wrong. That's still going to be a complaint on my books because IA investigated it, but they found that there was nothing that I did wrong. So there could be several complaints on an officer, and you go back and look and see like what exactly happened when they did that investigation. You'll be able to see like, oh, three out of the 5 of his complaints were just people complaining because they just wanted to complain. Now the other 2 might have been legitimate. The other 2, he really did do something. But when people see like somebody like Derrick Chauvin and he's had 20 complaints, maybe 10 of those were actual legitimate, and the other could have just been, him doing something and somebody just didn't like it and decided to call, which we get that a lot. So that's how the complaints go. So when people see that and they get mad and they're like, why hasn't anything been done? Well, because he hasn't done anything per se up until this moment. So you might see 10 complaints on a guy. That doesn't necessarily mean he's done bad things. I've gotten complained on, and it's people mad because I don't think they license, huh?
No, for what? No, yeah, because you said you got complaint, and I know and I know you told me, but I just forgot why they complained on you, or was it because of somebody jerked around, or what?
Yeah, something like that. Oh well, no.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah. I was just giving you an example, but the one time that I specifically remember that I was complained on is because I took a guy's license plate off of his car, and I told him he can't drive the car, and if he drive it, I'm gonna pull him over, because he had fake tags on the car. Okay. Yeah, exactly. And it was legitimate, and I could very well do it. He didn't have insurance on the car. He didn't even have a driver's license. So I told him, you need to find somebody with a driver's license and with insurance to come pick this car up. And so that guy decides to complain and say I was harassing him. And I'm like, dude, like, what? Yeah. So on the books, it looked like I got a complaint. But when you really go back and look at it, I took a guy that had fake license plates, with no driver's license and no insurance driving his car. I don't even know if this car stolen or not. You know what I'm saying? So just things like that. So when people do see that, I want them to be mindful as far as police that might not be what it is. And granted, whatever, and the complaints don't matter. If you see something like Derrick Chauvin or something like that, he could have 10 unlegitimate complaints and one legitimate one. Forget the complaints. What is he doing right now? And you look at a situation like that, I mean, there's no excuse for that. There's no like backing that. Even if an officer were to back that, I would look at them crazy. There's no reason to ever be on somebody's neck for that length of amount of time, especially when you have other officers there. So yeah, that's how the complaints work. And yeah,
you're right.
That's pretty much it.
So. Hold on right quick, Justin.
We had a question for him. Mr. A-Trap wanted to know, if you sold drugs when you were a youngster, does that automatically disqualify you? And I think he's speaking of just the background check aspect of things.
Yeah. So using drugs does not, but selling, automatically disqualifies you. Like if you as long as you haven't like done crack or something like that, you can still you can still be.
No, I was laughing shit because crack kind of hard. Goddamn shit. Hard shit to be on.
Yeah, as long as you haven't done anything hard like that, smoking weed, they're pretty lenient on, because I think most departments are getting with the times now. People smoke weed. It just is what it is. So they generally don't care about that, as long as it's not like an excessive amount. But yeah, if you sold drugs before, they'll probably disqualify you. Now, I can't say 100% if you were like a young kid or something, and it seemed like, hey, this guy, like he grew up in a bad area, and it really wasn't his fault what he was doing. Then they might make an exception, but it's going to be far few in between. And you kind of look at it like, why would we hire this guy when we got 10 other guys that haven't done that before? Or either they done it and they just didn't tell the truth. And so their record is clean versus you. And, they're kind of going back and forth on whether or not we should hire this guy because he used to sell drugs. Now, it sucks. But that's why I try to encourage kids, especially kids in our community, man, like don't do anything that's going to mess yourself up in the future, because
that's important too. He asked, even without a arrest conviction.
Yeah. So that's one of the things on the personal history statement that they ask you. Have you done these things even though you haven't gotten caught? And so, like I said, even though I put down literally, and I think I put down too much, because the investigator was like, all right, man, you don't have to share everything with me. I'm good. Just because I want it to be clear, like, hey, I'm not doing anything, this, that, and the next. And I never sold drugs or nothing like that. But even without a conviction, if they find out that you did that, or you tell them, it'll more than likely be an automatic disqualifier. So yeah.
You from Mesquite? I know you sold drugs.
Hey, wait.
Hey man, I played football. I was trying to get a scholarship, man. So I was a good boy. I wasn't trying to do too much, man.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
No, so of course I wanted to touch on, before we jump out of here and let you go, CJ, we'll definitely do a part 2, because I know you.
Well, hold on. Yeah. But hold on, right quick. Hey, so next Thursday, would you know what I'm saying? Like, would you be free next Thursday, or you gotta be?
Hey man, I'm down for it. I like talking to y'all, man. It's a good vibe over here, man. So anytime y'all want to invite me on, I'm definitely down for it.
I bet that. But go ahead and ask, and I hope you about to ask what I think you asking, because then that could cover my question too.
What? No, I had the floor long enough. You got it. What is it?
Hold on, mind you, next week episode, I'm gonna ask a bunch of just goofy ass, retarded ass questions, like back to the Badge Bunny shit, because I don't want some bullshit. But I mean, so I was gonna ask you, like, you personally, How do you feel? And you kind of touched on it a little bit, but you know, me and you talk like outside, like, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So what are some of the things that you would like to see just for community engagement and police officers? I mean, we joke around and play, but you were saying, I know at first you were just saying just have conversations in the neighborhood, but on a more political level, what is there something? Because I remember you were saying something like maybe we can all like get together at like the gym or like a park or just something, just have a sit down, or don't even got it, you know, we can have it in like one of the Garland, I don't know y'all, Garland official, like a courthouse. I don't know, just somewhere, you know, somewhere just to where you and a bunch of, you know, your police officer brothers and just regular people. Well, y'all are regular people, shit. We are regular people, hell. But you know, some people that are not police officers just sit and just vent, you know. But what are some suggestions that you have? What are some things that you're doing that can better, you know, just so we can have a better understanding, just more community outreach, you know, like what are some things that you would like to do or just some things that you are doing? You know, go ahead.
Yeah, for sure, man.
Justin, I hope that was, you know, I hope that was something that you was gonna ask. If it's not, then shit, fuck it, my bad, dog.
All right, you good? I got them next. Go ahead.
Yeah. So essentially,
today or next episode, Justin.
Today.
All right, okay, bet.
But yeah, man. Essentially, so I think I had told you we do something called a Citizens Police Academy, right? And I want to say that specifically in the context, I'm talking about Black people. I'm not talking about any other race because I can only talk about the race that I know. Black people do not get involved in that. And that's the thing that I really like. I try to push and I talk to older people. So the Citizens Police Academy, they go through some sort of police academy. Now, it's not like ours because they're not actually going to be doing this job, but their whole thing is to learn about our job. So they know some of the tactics, some of the things that we do, why we do it. Now, we don't give them all the stuff because, you know, we can't be spilling all the beans, but we, at the end of that class, they have a very clear and very vast understanding of police work and why is it that we do some of the things that we do and why we do it. They literally, I mean, I'm on the SWAT team, so they literally come out with us. They get to see the equipment we use. They get to see know the history. We even like do a whole hostage rescue thing with them where they're the hostages and we have a shooter and all that stuff. They literally get to be the players in the situation. So like they have a clear understanding. But you walk into that room, there ain't no Black. There was literally the last time I think they had the class, there was literally only like 1 or 2 Black people. Everybody else was white. Our community does not even want to do those things. And anybody can sign up. Anybody can sign up. Anybody can sign up. You don't have to have some. Now you can't like be no 3-time felon and do it, but like anybody.
That nigga said 3-time felon, like 3-time NBA All-Star team, all defense.
Yeah, but like if you just a normal everyday guy, which most Black people are, you know, you can do it. But they just don't sign up and they just don't care to do those things. And so I think I was talking to you a little bit about it. I wish and I hope maybe one day we can instill maybe a quarterly thing where the community just comes. It could be at a church or something like that where people feel comfortable. It don't have to be at the station. If they want to do that, that's fine. Where people in our community just come and we're there and it's Q&A. They just ask, why do y'all do this? What's the policy on this? What's the law on this? Why is it that when the police come, it's 6 of y'all that come, or it's 3 of y'all that come? I feel unsafe when it's 5 officers in my house for something so small. They don't know and they don't understand why we do that. And it's things like that that needs to be said and needs to be understood. And we don't have a platform to do that on. I mean, other than something like this, but we don't have like an event or something that people can just come to. You don't have to be a certain person. Heck, even the 3-time felon can come. Like we don't have any of that. They don't. A lot of people, they think they know the law and they really don't. They come to me and they telling me, well, I did this because I know this, that, and the next. And I'm like, no, I'm sorry, man, but that's not the law. If you understood, maybe the disconnect, we'd be able to kind of mitigate that, and we'd be able to figure something out. Because a lot of times, man, you see people that they think I'm intruding, or I can't go into their home, and then it starts becoming a race thing. I've had people tell me this ain't slavery. You can't just come in my house and take everything and this, that, and the next. And it's like, it's not even like that, man. Legally, I'm required to do what I'm doing. And so we need a platform. We need something that we can do. It don't have to be every month. It don't have to be every week. It could just be a quarterly thing where every 4 months, a group of people get together at a venue, at an event. Hey, it could be food there, this, that, and the next, and it's just Q&A. We just sitting down, we talking to people. We if people want to plan events, that's the place to do it. If people just want to know information, that's the place to do it. And we don't have that. Like I said, it takes two to tango. So the Black community has to be willing to do that, but also the police got to be willing to do that too. And somebody has to step up and say, "Hey, I'm heading this. This is what we're gonna do." Which there are people to do it. It's just I don't think it's really been said, and I don't think nobody has put together a reasonable plan to actually execute that. And like I said, the community has to get involved too. I think with the Juneteenth thing, it was awesome. I had a chance to talk to obviously y'all and some amazing other people. And that they didn't even. They was like, man, you Black cops in Garland and this, that, and the next. I'm like, yeah, man, it's quite a few. It's quite a few. Yeah. And so that was amazing. But the one thing I would say, even with that, it has to, I want it to be bigger next year, and we got to have social media coverage. It wasn't a lot. I didn't even know they was playing. I know it was the first one, but I think they can do better by just, posting it on social media, letting them know, hey, the police going to be here. If y'all have any questions, this, that, and the next, feel free to ask them. And so, yeah, just stuff like that, man. I think that's the best way to bridge this gap, because there is a considerable gap. I'm not gonna lie. I'm not gonna sit there and try to sugarcoat that. It is a considerable gap, and it's work to be done on both ends of the spectrum. So, yeah, I think that's the best way to do that, man.
So I want to piggyback off what you just said a little bit, as far as getting the community more involved. And I grew up in Garland. This is my first time ever hearing about, police officers having an event where we could come out and actually see what it is that you guys go through on a day-to-day. Like that, to me, I would love to sign up for it. I would love to volunteer my time and come out and do that for sure. And also, I want you to know that you have a support group in me and my nonprofit work out there in the city. Man, we would love to sit down and have Q&A. I reached out to a few cops in Garland during the whole thing at Garland High, where the student killed one of the former football players or whatever, over social media, and a girl, to be quite honest with you. But it's things like that, and being in East Garland, we have a very heavily Hispanic population. And man, I got a guy that works really close with the young Hispanic group out there that, involved in some things they shouldn't be involved in, but he's that bridge for me. And I utilize him to talk to them, to get them to come out. I did a Stop the Violence rally up at Gale Fields. I didn't have any police officers show up for that. And it may have been before your time, but these are things that I've done within the community that I don't even want to take credit, that my nonprofit that I'm a part of, that we have done within the community, that I feel really, truly goes unnoticed or doesn't get the attention that it needs. And it's blasted on social media, whether it's our individual accounts, whether it's our nonprofit account, and it's shared with city officials, it's shared with police officers alike. Because one thing about it with the Juneteenth event, the guy that you met with me, and him, basically for the past couple of years, we were raising money and coming out our own pockets to put those events on right there off of 66 at Trendsetter. right next to Mr. J's.
I know exactly what you're talking about.
Exactly. We were doing that ourselves. And that's how we got recognized with the city of Garland saying, hey, we're doing our first annual. Do you mind helping out? Do you mind being a part of the committee? Which is an honor, but at the same time, I'm a realist and I'm realistic about, what's going on in our community.
Did you do that about a year ago?
Yep.
I was there.
Good.
we probably didn't even, well, obviously we didn't even know each other, probably walked past each other, never knew it. But yeah, it was towards the mural of the kid, right?
Yeah,
on that side.
Yeah. Absolutely. Yeah.
Yep. I was there, man. I was actually just on, it was a regular patrol day for me. I didn't even know what was going on. I seen it and got out, and people probably thought I was there to get somebody, but I was like, nah, man. It was some food trucks towards the back. I got some food from them, and I just hung out for a little bit, man. So yeah, I know exactly what you're talking about. I think he.
Boy, what the hell? This unprofessional, bro. What the hell? God damn, bro. Get them kids out the. Oh my Lord, this man. Oh my God, Justin, bro.
I don't even think he realized it. He don't realize.
No, he realized it. Nah, hold on, quick. Hey, so let me bring some professionalism back to this thing. Hey, so it's this thing we do. It's one of my boys, King Dog. And maybe he can catch it right quick. But hold on, right quick, guys. We're gonna take a little break. This is your station identification. Justin, cut to commercial, nigga. Justin, do the thing where it says you listening to BS3 Network, dog.
This year, make Taste Buds Popcorn your one-stop shop for all your gift-giving needs. We offer the perfect solution to make your holiday gifting pop. Corporate gifts, holiday gifts, gifts for your staff and coworkers. With options like tins, sampler trios, gift boxes, or individual bags, we can make your gift-giving memorable this year. Amazing holiday flavors are available for a limited time. White chocolate peppermint, snickerdoodle, pumpkin spice latte, gingerbread, eggnog, and many more. Taste Buds Popcorn has been seen on NBC, Fox, and CBS. Winner of Retailer of the Year, Best of Weddings for the Knot magazine, and featured in Food Network magazine.
Bro, what the? Oh my goodness. Hey, hold on. Hey, right quick. Hey, all jokes aside, like Justin really my boy, bro. I really just be giving him a hard time, bro. Bro, Justin is, like dead ass, bro. Justin is like my nigga, bro. Like on some real shit, bro. Like if somebody was fucking with his son and he got a son named Cornbread, guess what? I'm smacking the shit out of somebody. I'm in there.
You on it, yeah.
Hey, bro. Hey, but like, yeah, bro. But no, I was just joking with Justin, man.
Nah,
Justin, my boy.
I appreciate that. I had to plug it up, man. I was going dead. See, that's why.
You were going. Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
We did an episode last time and that happened, so I had to make sure to get to my charger real quick.
Okay.
Now, but like I was saying, man, it's super important that you guys, as far as cops, man, you guys know where we hang out at. You know what's going on in the communities. You see it. You know what I'm saying? So when things like that are available to the community, why not post it at the rec centers? Why not have them or encourage them to talk about it? Why not go to your local barbershops? Everybody over there goes to the barbershops. So why not go to the barbershops, hand out flyers, hand out tangibles, and say, hey, this is what we're doing as far as, GPD. We want y'all to come out and support, or we want y'all to come out and get a first look at what it is that we do. Because it's too often that, we're both looking at each other from the wrong point of view. They're looking at it as if, like, you know, you guys don't like us. Y'all think we all bad. Y'all think we all up to no good. And we're looking at it like you just want to bust us. You just want to arrest us, or you just want to harass us. And that's the furthest thing from the truth. But we have to. And my challenge to you is I want you to hold me accountable. As a matter of fact, I want you to get my number from CJ, and I want you to feel free to hold me accountable. When I do things in the community, I want you there, and I want the police presence there. Even if it's just you by yourself, it will mean a lot just to know that, hey, this is someone that at the end of the day, he works with them and he has our back. He's going to make sure that we are understood and we're heard, because it's too often that, I mean, just to keep it real with you, even within the Black community, it's a lot of our elders that don't understand what we're doing or don't want to support what we're doing because they look at it like you don't know what you're doing, or you don't have the experience, or you don't have the financial backing, which honestly, a lot of this shit doesn't boil down to financial backing. It just boils down to communication. So I would love to be able, and we can start simple, just you and my nonprofit. I would love to be able to have, you know, like you said, once a quarter Q&A. Even for those officers that feel like, hey, we don't know what's going on over here and we just want to see what's up or what's on the up and up. I would love for them to reverse it too. You guys ask some questions as well, because in order to police the neighborhood or in order to police a community, you need to know about that community. You need to know who's what's going on, who does what, who's involved in what, because it's so many times, and I told CJ this before, when I grew up in Garland playing at Lou Huff Recreation Center, we had a drug dealer that looked out for us, that bought us shoes and bought our uniforms to make sure, hey, y'all finna look right. Y'all ain't finna go out here, oh, the Garland Rec Center only giving you a T-shirt, but these other boys coming from, you know, Richardson or Rowlett or whatever, they got jerseys. Like, that's what I mean by that pride. Like, although it was, you know, dirty money, whatever you want to call it, he still looked out for us. And it was a sense of, I don't need y'all doing what I do. I need y'all to be better than what I am. And I'll never forget that, because that stuck with me was his message. It was one of, yo, I messed up early, and almost in the sense of, this is my choice and this is what I'm stuck with, but you guys have an opportunity and I want you to be better than what I was. And if we can get police officers to come out and share, like you, if you can come out and share your message about, yo, I was at that protest when those Dallas cops were killed. I was one of those ones saying F the police. But now look at me, I'm trying to make a difference. I'm trying to make a change with police and community relationships, because it's too often, especially in Garland, you see them go get those Hispanic kids and put them in Golden Gloves. You see that all day. But when it comes to those Black kids, and just like what you said, you do those events or you see those events, but you don't see participation from us. Well, that's for a reason, because a lot of us have that inherent trauma of police are gonna fuck you over. It's so important that we get away from that. And it's gonna start. And I'm challenging you to challenge yourself and to challenge me as well, and challenge CJ. We all three can push each other to make sure that this thing gets a better understanding. And because we hear it all the time as a Black community. Oh, that's just one bad cop. Oh, that's just one bad cop. Well, where are the good cops when bad cops are doing bad shit? That's the main question. And just like you were saying earlier about, oh man, if they messing with the badge bunnies, I don't want to know about it. I don't want to hear about it. It's really because that blue wall of silence is real. And we have plenty of examples of it. We don't even need you to get into that, but we know it's real as a community. And we look at police just like y'all look at some of us as, yo, they're a fucking gang. If you do something wrong to one of them, just like you said, you were out there at that protest when those cops were killed. You saw how quick DPD turned into, fuck that. We ain't going to arrest this dude. We finna blow him up. We finna make sure this threat is done. So when we see things like that in the Black community, or we see us being killed for being unarmed, or we see us being killed because we look like a threat, or we can be a potential danger, when we see stuff like that, and then you have officers that go in and arrest the kid in the Buffalo massacre, or you have guys like Dylan Roof that are arrested and taken to Burger King after shooting up a church. Even with the Uvalde situation, in my opinion, honestly, the only reason they hurried up and killed him was because he was Hispanic. And they didn't want those tapes getting out, because those cops look like real, I'm sorry, excuse my language, but they look like some real bitches.
Yeah, I've seen the footage, man.
I know, that's what I'm saying. Like, no doubt in my mind, if I was a cop, I understand what I signed up for. So if I put myself in that position, okay, I'm willing to risk my life versus innocent kids losing their lives, and I'm right down the damn hallway. And the one cop that got hand sanitizer, it was just like, yo, are you fucking kidding me? Like, to me, it just really, it broke my heart to see that as far as those kids, but it made me worry about those cops that I know, that I actually have a relationship with, that I know would have handled that situation totally differently. That would have been like, I'm sorry, Sarge, but I had to go put that threat down because that shit was getting, like, those are kids.
No, man. I mean, you're spot on with the Uvalde thing, man. Watching that video, it was almost sick to watch, man, because at least here at Garland culture, literally one of our things is, we run towards the sound of gunfire, especially on our SWAT team. I mean, we do all this training and we get all this cool gear for what reason? Not to look cool, it's really when the time comes, man, and your number gets called, it's time to do what they pay you to do. And a lot of people take that oath. A lot of people, swear and say they're going to do this, that, and the next. But when it comes down to that moment and that time, man, when you got death on the other side of that door, that's when you really and I'm speaking from somebody that's been in a similar situation, not a school shooting, but a very similar situation that I can't really touch on. But
at the Caldwell Center, right?
Not that. I wasn't around for that.
Okay.
I wasn't around for that. But it takes, you really see what you're made of, man, when death is on the other side of that door, and you got to go in and do what they pay you to do and what you swore you would do. So, yeah, man, that Uvalde thing is horrible. I just, there's no words to explain it. It's horrible. It is what it is. And Garland, thankfully, man, our whole culture, our training, everything, that's one thing we do take pride in, man. And that's why you won't probably, God willing, ever see us on the news doing some coward stuff like that, just because our whole culture, man, especially like on the SWAT team and stuff like that, we don't take kindly to cowards, man. And you'll get spotted out real quick because of just the positions that we're in. You can't be a coward and do some of the things we do. So, yeah, man.
I definitely appreciate that, man. And like I said, I'm so sincere about like us holding each other accountable.
Yeah.
Three of us, like, both you and CJ are around the same age. I'm a little bit older, but still, I feel like we're three intelligent, powerful young men that can really make a difference and really make a change and push this movement as far as, hey, man, what you're standing for, I'm behind. I'm behind supporting you as a Black cop, saying it needs to be more of us. But I'm also behind us pushing each other to say, well, when more of us get in that position, make a difference. Make it count. Don't do it for that check, because you can get another job for the check. But do it because, hey, I'm in it because I want to see my community thrive. I'm in it because I want to show my community a different way out versus I'm in it because shit, what else did I have to do? I didn't want to, like it's real. And your job isn't to be taken lightly. You being on SWAT, like you're called on when there's some real shit going down and the police are like, yeah, get SWAT out here.
Yeah.
Like we know that as far as community knows the difference between regular police officers and SWAT. So for me, I just feel like you have a certain level of integrity and a certain level of respect that you're always going to get. And even within the community, I think us as Black men, just walking our communities, we have a certain level of respect we're always going to get within our communities because we are looked at as the dominant force.
Yeah.
And especially you being married. I'm on my way to being married. I'm pretty sure CJ will be here shortly.
Yeah.
but that right there, just that little aspect of it is something that more Black people need to see as well. More Black kids, especially young Black men, they need to see that. So with me and CJ both being like corporate guys and you being in law enforcement, imagine young Black men being able to see that as the normal and really being inspired and encouraged to say, shit, I like what Justin does. I like what CJ does. I like what Officer Whitley does. Like, that's where it's at.
Yeah.
So
that's right.
I'm going to go ahead and let y'all have final words because we're going to get up out of here. We are already 30-something minutes over time. So let's start with Mr. CJ first.
Hey man, you know what I'm saying? Hey, it was a pleasure having you on. And I swear the next time, because I see just like you have stories of like, me being, active duty military and I got some situations. Actually I can talk about one because I got cleared by, UCMJ, which is, I think it's like military court of law or some shit. I don't know the whole, but yeah, it was time. And I told you, I actually got arrested on post and I got I got arrested on post and I was in a situation where I had to like go into like a military court, like deal with like attorneys. And so I so I got some stories. And I want to see if I can bring, man, Justin, I got a dude, and he's a cop as well. I just, just me being in the military and just me like having, like my dad being a cop for so long, you just start knowing people. I got a dude, he like 27, I believe. You think I'm crazy. He just like me. He goofy. And when I tell you that he's a DART police officer, so he worked for Dallas area rapid transportation or whatever, DART. Yeah, you know what I'm saying? But man, he's a funny dude. Like he's funny as hell. So maybe if I can next time, we can just tile it, I don't know, like military and cop stories or just, but on a serious note, man, it was a pleasure having you on. You my boy. Actually, I know your birthday coming up. It's coming up in August, right? Next month, right? It's this month.
Nah. Off camera, I tell you, I don't need everybody knowing my info, man. Look, you gonna have some people up in my house, man.
Oh man, listen. No. All right, well, listen. On your birthday, before your birthday, I got you on them drinks, bro. I got you on them drinks, my nigga.
All right, I'm gonna hold you to that. I'm gonna hold you to it.
Hey, the first round, only the first round, I got you. After that, I'm gonna be like, hey, put it on the board tab. You know what I'm saying? But real shit, man. Hey, it was a pleasure having you on, and we definitely need more of these conversations. You know what I'm saying? So I'm glad you're doing your thing, and that's all I really like to say. But next week, it's gonna be a funny ass episode. That's all I'm gonna say.
Hey, I'm down for it, man.
Bet that. But go ahead though. You can go ahead and say your final thoughts, and then Justin can go ahead and take it away.
Yeah, man. Yeah, no, I loved it, man. This is awesome. Y'all got an awesome thing going, man. I'm definitely looking forward to working more with y'all, and hanging with y'all, man. Like I said, this whole podcast is a good vibe. We can laugh, joke. I don't feel like there's some business setting. Like, y'all doing an awesome thing here, man. So, anytime y'all want me back, I'm definitely down for it.
Yes, sir.
Up, man. Well, I just piggyback off CJ, man. Once again, we definitely appreciate you joining us, man. Mm-hmm. We appreciate what you do to protect and serve all of us, and especially the community that's near and dear to my heart that I love, and that, CJ's had the pleasure of coming through and really saying, damn, I didn't realize Garland had black people like that. So
I sure didn't know, boy.
Yeah, but that, man, I look forward to doing more things with you here in the near future, not far out, but near future.
Yep.
One thing about it is I know we're going to start planning our annual back to school for the kids here real soon. Mm-hmm. So I definitely want to invite you out. I already know, CJ, you should already know you definitely getting the invite. But more to come with that. I'll keep you posted as well as our viewers, and let everybody know how they can donate, whether it be financial, whether it be your time, whether it just be your presence out there to just come kick back, celebrate these youngsters, get them ready for the school year. Because, man, they got it a lot harder than what we did coming up. But one thing about it is, man, if we show them that we love and care about them, you'll be surprised of what the outcome will be with them,
Yeah, for sure. I'm definitely looking forward to that, man.
Yes, sir. With that being said, everybody, thank you for joining us tonight, and we're out of here.